Alright, here's the deal. I haven't made one of these kind of videos in a while where I kind of just sit down, tell a story about one of my, what I call human moments. And typically they're much more lighthearted than this one is going to be. This one's kind of serious. Let's go back to Tuesday last week. I was in Kansas City with both of my brothers, taking them to a concert to see Falling in Reverse and Avenged Sevenfold. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. It's not really relevant to the story at all, to be honest. It was a great show, but it has nothing to do with anything I'm about to tell you. Because the truth is, this is about what happened right before. We were across the street at the Power and Light District. We're just hanging out. We're in no rush to get in through the doors because the show doesn't start for half an hour. So we're hanging out over there. But before we get over there, we notice these people with picket signs that say things like, well, I'm not going to repeat it. I'll just put it on the screen and let you guys see for yourselves. Yeah, not not the funnest of that. Those are not my people, just to be clear. I absolutely, well, hate's a pretty strong word, so I won't use that, but they aggravate my soul in a way that I, in 22 years of my existence, have not been able to fix. And everybody's looking at them. Everybody sees this and just to see the word God, to see the name of God rather, be used in that context really rubbed me the wrong way. And I think with pretty good reason, frankly. And I felt it weighing very heavy on my heart to go over there and say something to this effect. Hey, as a follower of Jesus myself, I have an ictus on my arm, for crying out loud. As a follower of Jesus myself, someone who serves my church, who also serves a youth group, I, in a roundabout way, encourage people to be conducive and submissive to God's authority and design for how they are to live their lives. But the God I serve is one of love, grace, and mercy, as opposed to your God that you serve, who is one of hate, malice, and unforgiveness. It's people like you who use the name of my God in such a blasphemous way that undo that work that me and my people over in my camp work to achieve. Anybody who's ever come across these people and has had any speculation about what that means for the gospel, those are not my people. We don't serve the same God. We don't follow the same Jesus. Because the implications of what is being said, and the realities or ideas thereof are just not the same. And I felt it weighing very heavy on my heart. It was on the tip of my tongue. I wanted to say it so bad. I just could not muster up the nerve to go over there and do it. And walking away from that, having not done that, I felt so guilty. I was very shameful. I could have really set an example for not only my two brothers that were there with me, one of which is a non-believer, by the way, but for anybody within hearing and walking distance that could be observing what's going on. They could be seeing a true witness to the true gospel, confronting just outright blasphemy against the Father himself, calling it out and saying, this ain't it. This is not the way. And I'm just like, why didn't I do that? But that really came full circle this Sunday in a wild way. It was just one of those Sundays where God really starts to talk to you. In a way you kind of expected him to, but you were surprised that they did it anyway. That sort of thing, that probably makes no sense. But anyway, my church campus preacher touched on the difficulty we experience forgiving ourselves when we make a misstep. How it's easy to ask for forgiveness from others and from God himself, but it's really, really difficult to really forgive yourself when you make a decision that you probably could have done something different. And if you did, things would have worked out a little bit better. And I think in that moment when Stan was talking about that, shout out to Stan, by the way, I think in that moment God was telling me two things. Number one, you're not the only one that experiences this level of guilt. And number two, you can't be so down on yourself because it's not the end of the world. I think what he was telling me is that if you're truly faithful to this mission that I have for you, and you're going to stay on the path that I've set before you, more opportunities that present themselves for you to be a witness, and for you to set an example and to build a culture of missions and service and testifying to the truth about me for my name's sake, for the glory of my name and for the work of my kingdom. If you're faithful to that, then there will be more opportunities, and when they present themselves, you'll be set up in a way by my own grace that you will be able to respond swiftly and adequately as I would want you to be. And I was like, okay. Self-pity has always been my game, frankly. When I'm down on myself, I am down on myself. That's always been a very strong conviction of mine. And so I'm still working through it. And so I hope that this serves as an encouragement to somebody. Like, you feel like you're a failure in terms of leading properly or setting the right precedent. Don't worry, everyone feels that way. And sometimes it's right, sometimes it's irrational, but sometimes it is right. But even when it is, like, how long do you expect to dwell on that? You can't just be down on yourself forever. Stuck in that world of shoulda, woulda, coulda. Just like, we can't be there forever. And God's expectation of us and his design for us was that we don't do that, but that we stay on mission, and that we stay in service to one another and to others. And so before I wrap this video up, I want to make a few things clear. Number one, once again, these people are not my people. And a quick side note on that also, I wish I could have responded in a much more lighthearted manner like my brother here. I love him for that because he's amazing. He's able to laugh at much more than I find myself capable of laughing at. I couldn't find how easily offended I can be sometimes. Whether that's justified or not, I don't really know. But anyway, the Christianity of Christ is not saying any of those things or anything related to that sort of implication. And if you are one of those people that believes that, we're not the same. You can serve whatever cause you want, even if it's one rooted in hatred and malice, but you are not allowed to say you're one of me. You serve the same King Jesus that I do, because you don't. We're not the same. The time that I'm on is pointing people back to the resurrection and saying that it's because of that whatever lifestyle I'm wrapped up in, I don't have to stay confined to it forever. That I'm not a slave to my own instincts and impulses. I'm covered by the blood of the perfect sacrifice that was Jesus Christ, who lived the life that I could never live, died the death that I should have died, and did what I could never do by coming back from the dead. He became sin that knew no sin so I could be made right with him. That's the gospel. That's where I find salvation. Sanctification comes afterwards, and that is a whole other can of worms that I don't have time to go into right now. But if you made it this far, thank you. And if you've never seen a video of mine, yeah, I can't talk for this song about one thing, and it's kind of nuts when somebody lets me do it, because I kind of tend to ramble, as I feel like I kind of did this one. So with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.